Hi, this is Dave with SuspenderStore.com with another of our continuing series of videos all about suspenders. Today we're going to talk about how to attach clip suspenders to your pants. Now that might seem like kind of an obvious thing, but there are some things to keep in mind before you attach the clips. First, let's talk about regular clip suspenders. That's the majority of what we sell. And whether the clips are the big wide clips like these or thinner clips like these on the thinner suspenders, there are a few things that you want to keep in mind. First, the clips are machined to fit material the width of your pants. They're not machined to fit on wider material. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to put them on belts or belt loops because that'll wear the clips out. Think about stuffing too much in your mouth. Your jaw will get sore after a while. So these things are made to fit a certain width of material. So we think that the reason that people often put clips on belts or belt loops, which they shouldn't do, is because they've had an experience where maybe they bought a pair of suspenders in a store and those suspenders were cheap and from China with inferior hardware, so the clips didn't hold. So they had to put them on a belt loop in order to get the clips to grip. Well, and then they think that all suspender clips are that way, which is not correct. Good clips don't need to be put on thicker material. Our clips don't need to be put on thicker material, and so you can wear them with confidence. Having said that, I'm going to give you a little tip that if you do have a clip that is wearing out, if it's a bad clip that you bought in a store or something, or even one of ours that maybe a few years down the road is starting to get a little bit loose, at that time you can get a little more life out of the clip by putting it on a belt loop. But once again, don't ever do that until the clip is starting to fail. So the way to tell whether a clip is a good clip or a bad clip is that when you close the clip should lock firmly and securely. There should be no play in the clip at all. If this clip were bad, there would be maybe an 1/8 of an inch opening there that you'd be able to squeeze that closed and it'd have a little play in it. So if there's no play, the clip's great. If there's a little play, it's probably not going to grip very well. Okay, so if you don't put the clips on your belt or your belt loop, where do you put them? Well, let's start with the front. So if you don't put the clips on a belt or a belt loop, where do you put them? Well, obviously you put them on the top of your pants, but then the positioning is many times dictated by the location of the belt loops on the pants. So in this case, you're generally going to see the clips just inside or just outside of the belt loops. On most bodies, that's where they tend to fall. What I like to do is look in a mirror with the suspenders on me and then just see where they fall best on my body. In this case, I've got the clips just inside the belt loops. Not sure if you can see it on these pants, as does Manny here, the mannequin. These clips are just inside the belt loops. If we brought him outside, it may come out a little far on him. So usually I butt it up just on the inside of my belt loops, depending on the pants. So on the back of your body, it depends on whether you've got X back with the 2 straps or Y back with just a single strap suspenders. Now, with a Y back suspender, let's start with that. It's just a single strap coming down the center. Now, obviously, you'd like to put that exactly in the center of your pants, and you can do that as long as there's not a belt loop there. Most pants do have that center rear belt loop though, so what you're going to want to do with this is just put it just to one side of that belt loop, so it's just barely off the center line, usually not noticeable. If you have Y-back suspenders like these, what you want to do is, everybody's going to be different, so I can't tell you exactly where to put them, but you want to put them such that these straps are straight. If you put them too close, the straps will start to loop up like that. They'll be uneven. If you put them too far, they'll stretch. It'll look weird and they won't get as good a grip as they can get. So that's a quick review of how you attach regular clips to pants and where you want to put them. Before we leave the regular clips, there's another type of suspender that we have regular clips on. These are side clip suspenders. I just have them loosely on now and not clipped, but they have one clip on each side. They're a special type of suspender. We have a video all about them. Truckers, for example, like these because they don't have any clips behind them in their seats while they're driving for long hours. But anyway, these have one clip on each side. It's just a different configuration. And so where you put these is going to depend on the shape of your body. They're basically going to be on the side, of course, but exactly where they go is going to be determined by the shape of your body. You want the material to just lay flat on you, and depending on your proportions, that could be in a different spot. And of course, once again though, never put them on a belt loop, and you often have belt loops somewhere along the side, so just be careful to avoid those. Now, another type of suspender clip or attachment that we have is a trigger snap. We have those, you see them a lot on leather and western type of suspenders. They're like the end of a dog leash. They're a spring-loaded snap that hooks to belt loops. So the mannequin here is wearing those, and it's obvious where they go on the belt loops. And usually they're belt loops on the front, positioned in a pretty good spot for those to come down. We have those once again in the leather and western style, but now we're also carrying those in regular elastic, and we're finding them to be very popular because they're so easy to get on and off. Now, where you put them on the back, they're all Y-back suspenders, so they all have a single strap in the back. And that's because the vast majority of pants have a single belt loop right in the center rear. Now, if you don't have one there, you won't be able to wear one of these types of suspenders unless you put a belt loop on the pants, and we have seen people do that in some cases. But once again, most pants do have a center rear belt loop, so you can wear these with most pants. The final type of attachment we'll talk about are belt clip suspenders. And these are called so because they basically have a plastic, it's called a clip, but it's really more like a plastic hook that you slide onto your belt. So you wear these with the belt and you get dual support. We've got a video all about these as well. Now, when you position these, the front, once again, I like to stand in front of a mirror and see how they come down, because you can put these anywhere. The plastic hook doesn't have to go at any particular spot. So you just find out where it slides down best on you and then just slip it onto the belt there. The rear, once again, is governed by a rear center belt loop. So we have these in both 1.5" and 2" widths. Now, but on both of those widths, the rear strap is still 2 inches wide, and the reason for that is it has to have a extra wide belt clip back there with a notch in the center so that it can accommodate the center rear belt loop that you find on most pants. So that's a quick review of where to attach different types of suspender clips and attachments to pants. Hope you found it helpful. If you like these videos, please like them and subscribe and share them if you will. If you have any questions, please give us a call. Our number in the US is 800-393-4508. Our number outside the US is 410-987-4212. Thanks for watching SuspenderStore.